think you agree with me when I say the keto diet is one of the most talked about diets in the PCOS community. Many keto advocates speak of the health benefits they experience. So this may have you wondering, should I follow the keto diet? Well, in this video, I'm going to talk about whether the keto diet is right for you. I'm going to touch on the benefits and the drawbacks, and ultimately, if the keto diet is healthy for women with PCOS. So, let's get into it. Hi, my name is Lesbiana Pavley and I'm the founder of PCOS Oracle, where I talk about all things PCOS and how to reverse it naturally. So if that's what you're looking for, then consider subscribing. Now, before we get started, I want to say thank you to Let's Get Checked for sponsoring this video, but I'll have more on that at the end of the video. So as I mentioned in the intro of the video, the keto diet is one of the most popular and discussed diets in the PCOS community. So before we delve into the benefits of the keto diet and whether you should follow it, let's take a look at what the keto diet actually is. The keto diet, also known as the ketogenic diet, was created in the 1920s as a treatment for epilepsy. The keto diet is a high-fat, moderate protein and low-carb diet. The significant reduction in carbohydrates puts your body in ketosis. So as I mentioned, the keto diet is one of the most popular diets in the PCOS community. Many women follow the keto diet because they believe it holds a lot of benefits for their PCOS and their symptoms. But here's the thing, there's only a handful of clinical studies looking at the keto diet for PCOS. I found one pilot study in which 11 PCOS women followed a low-carb ketogenic diet for 24 weeks. Out of the 11 participants at the beginning of the study, 5 remained until the end. The low-carb ketogenic diet led to a significant reduction in body weight and free testosterone, as well as a decrease in luteinizing hormone and follicular-stimulating hormone ratios, and fasting insulin. Also, 2 women became pregnant despite previous infertility problems. Now, these are huge improvements, but the results were only based on 5 women. So the study we cannot say with certainty that it's the keto diet or the improvement was down to weight loss. More research is necessary. So the first benefit is that the keto diet helps to lower insulin resistance. The keto diet is said to be one of the most effective ways of improving blood sugar levels. A study found a low-carb ketogenic diet led to greater improvements in hemoglobin A1C levels. This is a marker which shows blood sugar levels over the past 3 months. So the keto diet may be an effective way to lower blood sugar levels and in turn reduce insulin levels because there's no sugar in the blood and as a result, no insulin is being produced. The second well-known and talked about benefit of the keto diet for PCOS is that it helps with weight loss. Weight gain and difficulty losing weight is a common symptom many women with PCOS struggle with. So it's understandable why when they come across how the keto diet can benefit them and help them lose weight, it's understandable that they go for this kind of diet approach. A study comparing a low carbohydrate ketogenic diet to a calorie restricted low fat diet found the low carb ketogenic diet to be more effective. Participants in the low carb ketogenic diet lost more weight and body fat compared to the low fat diet group. So the keto diet may help with weight loss. This could be potentially because you're eating more fat and protein, both of which these macronutrients are very filling and keep you more satiated and fuller for longer, allowing you to consume less food and thus promoting weight loss. Third benefit is that it lowers inflammation. Now, research shows the majority of women with PCOS suffer from chronic inflammation, and this can be caused for various reasons, including insulin resistance. But researchers have found that the keto diet can lower inflammation. Now, as I mentioned, when your body switches from burning sugar to fat, it enters into ketosis, and the ketones that your body uses as fuel also have anti-inflammatory properties. So simply put, all of the benefits I mentioned, from reducing insulin resistance, helping with fat loss, lowering inflammation, is incredible. So it's understandable that many women with PCOS see these benefits and want to give the keto diet a go, hoping that this diet will help them improve their symptoms and help them feel better. But as with anything, there are some drawbacks. So let's get into what these drawbacks are and what you need to keep in mind before you even decide giving the keto diet a go. Because it's important to weigh up the pros, the cons, so you can make an informed decision based on evidence-based information. So the first drawback I find is really important and I want to mention first is that it's not very suitable for women who suffer from adrenal PCOS or hypothyroidism. So as I mentioned, the keto diet may be beneficial for women who suffer from insulin resistance, but for those who suffer from adrenal PCOS and hypothyroidism, I wouldn't really recommend. So contrary to popular belief, PCOS is not one condition. So saying that one diet can be applied and be beneficial for all women with PCOS is not true and can be very detrimental to a woman with PCOS. There are actually multiple types of PCOS, which you can find out more about by clicking this card above, where I delve into all the different types of PCOS and root causes. From the symptom, I outline what they are, the causes, the symptoms, the test to find out which type you have, as well as how to go about treating each type. So to give you a quick summary of these two types of PCOS that I've just mentioned. So first up, when we are stressed, we activate the fight or flight response. You may have heard of this term before. This causes the adrenals to release cortisol and adrenaline, as well as male hormones. So research shows that cortisol levels are highest when following a very low carbohydrate diet. So following a low carb ketogenic diet may not be such a good idea if you suffer from high cortisol or adrenal PCOS. Next up, hypothyroidism. We're already thinking, what's the link between hypothyroidism and PCOS? Researchers have found up to 25% of women with PCOS have a thyroid condition. Unfortunately, problems with the thyroid are often missed in women with PCOS. This is why this type of PCOS is called the hidden cause. Hypothyroidism is a condition where the thyroid is underactive, which means it is not producing enough of the thyroid hormone, and as a result, this causes the body to slow down. Hypothyroid patients should avoid low carb diets, and this is because the thyroid requires carbohydrates in order to function optimally. Insulin is needed to convert T4, which is the inactive thyroid hormone, to T3, the active thyroid hormone. But because insulin is low on a low carbohydrate diet, this conversion is not occurring, and as a result, this can affect thyroid function. So the keto diet is not like a standardized dieting approach that can just be applied to every woman with PCOS. The second drawback is that it's very low in fiber. Obviously, when you're restricting a major macronutrient, carbohydrates, high carbohydrate foods, you're going to not be consuming a lot of fiber. But fiber is a form of carb all women with PCOS need. The third drawback is that the keto diet can alter your gut health. So following on from the previous drawback mentioned about how it's very low in fiber, the lack of fiber consumed following the keto diet can alter your gut bacteria. So let me explain why and how this is bad. When we consume a healthy amount of fiber, roughly between 25 to 35 grams of fiber a day, we are feeding and supporting the healthy gut bacteria so they can thrive. In turn, the number and the form of gut bacteria increases. So there's that balance of good and bad bacteria. But when our gut bacteria starve, we're not feeding it the food, the nutrients that it lives off and thrives. They feed off the natural layer of mucus that lines our gut. They feed off the mucus to the point where harmful bacteria and viruses can infect the colon wall. So it is vital that we are feeding our friendly gut bacteria with fiber to ensure that the mucus wall remains thick, to protect our body from harmful bacteria. The fourth drawback of the keto diet is that it's very unsustainable. Personally, I've attempted to give the keto diet a go, and it's not for me. It's not very sustainable, and I know a lot of people in the PCOS community and not in the PCOS community who find it unsustainable. Let's be real. Do you see yourself never eating carbohydrates ever again for the rest of their life. As I mentioned in the intro, where I said that I couldn't find a lot of clinical studies which looked into the keto diet PCOS, some of those participants mentioned in that pilot study couldn't adhere to the low-carb ketogenic diet because of food preferences. It's not sustainable. Eliminating a whole food group, a whole macronutrient, isn't easy. And the thing that a lot of people don't realize and why they follow the keto diet is that you can eat carbohydrates. Not all carbohydrates are created equally. The problem is not the carbs. You see, over the last 50 years or so, people have been consuming a lot more refined, processed carbohydrates. Now, there are two types of carbohydrates, natural and refined, which processed. So natural carbohydrates are the carbohydrates that have not been processed and they remain in their natural state. They are a source of vitamins and minerals. Natural carbohydrates include sweet potatoes, legumes, vegetables, and fruits. These are complex carbohydrates, and the way they work in the body is that the body breaks them down slowly because they contain a high fiber content. Now, fiber has been shown in studies to lower blood sugar levels, and it does this by slowing down digestion and the release of sugar. This then prevents high blood sugar levels and in turn a spike in insulin. Refined carbohydrates, on the other hand, are man-made. They contain sweeteners and other artificial substances to change the taste, prevent them from going bad, prolong their shelf life, and so on. Examples of refined carbohydrates include bread, cereals, pasta, and artificial sweeteners. Overconsumption of these refined foods, these processed foods, is harmful to the body because they contain a man-made substance called high fructose corn syrup. I'm sure you may have come across this term before, that you've probably seen it on a lot of food labels, which is important. This is why you need to be reading through your packaged foods before you buy anything. Now, the amount of carbohydrates that you do consume is going to be very individualized. It's going to depend upon, we all have a unique carb tolerance, so you have to experiment, but it's also going to be dependent on your severity of insulin resistance if you do suffer from insulin resistance. So that's what you got to keep in mind. It's not to say that carbohydrates are bad, you just need to choose carbohydrates that are natural. The final thing I want to touch on with regards to carbohydrates is that you should always combine your carbohydrates with protein to help with the release of sugar and balance your blood sugar levels to prevent that insulin spike. The final drawback that I want to mention in the video is that the keto diet can increase the risk of diabetic ketoacidosis. As discussed, following the keto diet increases the amount of ketones in the blood, but this can be very dangerous if it's not monitored. Too many ketones in your blood can lead to a condition called diabetic ketoacidosis. If the high amounts of ketones in your blood are left unchecked, they can build up and make your blood acidic. This is why the keto diet should be followed under medical supervision. Signs of diabetic ketoacidosis include high blood sugar levels, nausea, difficulty breathing, dry mouth, frequent urination, feeling tired. So that brings us to the conclusion of, should you follow the keto diet for PCOS? The evidence clearly shows that the keto diet has benefits. Unfortunately, the jury is still out on whether the keto diet is healthy or even safe for women with PCOS. There isn't a straightforward answer. Firstly, because there is not enough clinical research or studies done upon the keto diet for PCOS, as I mentioned in the intro. Secondly, there is more than one type of PCOS. So just because the keto diet or any other diet worked for one person who suffers from PCOS, it doesn't mean that you can replicate this diet or this diet is the best diet. It's a standardized diet that can be followed by every single person that suffers from PCOS. Like I said, there's different types of PCOS, different root causes. We are all individuals, we are all different. So we need to be finding out our root cause and then identifying a dietary approach that is suitable for us before we follow something that is popular. So like I said, the keto diet may be beneficial for a woman suffering from insulin resistance. But on the other hand, you suffer from adrenal PCOS or hypothyroidism, it's not beneficial and it shouldn't be followed. So bottom line, if you don't suffer from adrenal PCOS or hypothyroidism, the keto diet may be a safe and healthy approach to follow for your PCOS. But as always, consult a medical professional before changing anything in your diet. And remember, listen to your body, pay attention to the symptoms and signs it's showing you, because these are just, symptoms or signs your body is telling you that something isn't quite right. But before we go, I want to say thank you to Let's Get Checked for sponsoring this video. I talk a lot about getting to the root cause of your PCOS, and hormonal testing is one of the most important ways of identifying the type of PCOS you have. Now, many women do not get the PCOS testing they need, whether it's because their healthcare provider is not very supportive or because they purely do not have the time to visit their doctor and get the necessary test. That's why I'm excited to announce a new partnership with Let's Get Checked. Let's Get Checked provides you with easily accessible at-home testing and medical consultations without ever having to leave your home. How incredible is that? So the way it works is super simple. You choose a test kit online, Let's Get Checked and delivers it to you in discreet packaging with next day delivery. You then activate the test, collect your sample in the morning, and return it using the prepaid shipping label provided. From there, Let's Get Checked reviews your sample in their lab and shares the results with you via your secure online account within 2 to 5 days. It's super quick, seamless, and your results are confidential. Once your results are available, they'll be reviewed by a physician. A nurse will then contact you for a consultation over the phone. Finally, in some cases, the physician will provide prescriptions for you to the pharmacy of your choosing. I believe everyone should have access to hormone testing, and Let's Get Checked makes that possible. It's never been this simple to stay on top of your hormonal health. Check out Let's Get Checked today. Click the card here, or I have the link in the description box down below, and use the code PCOS20 for 20% off your order. That's PCOS20 for 20% off your order. As I said, the link and the discount code will also be linked in the description box down below. Your health should never take a backseat. Like this video if you liked it, comment down below, let me know, have you followed the keto diet? Are you thinking about following the keto diet? Let me know in the comments, share the video, let others find out about the keto diet for PCOS, and don't forget to subscribe for plenty more videos. Catch you in the next one.